So, interestingly enough, yesterday someone asked me, how do you know when to take a leap of faith? And the answer to that is you actually don't, but your higher self does. Whenever you've made that choice in your life that felt really good, felt really right, that is not you, not your physical you that feels that feeling. That is coming from what we call your higher self. So today I'm making a quick little video on what your higher self is and how to strengthen your connection with it so that you can have more precision in the decisions that you make in your life and be guided by your higher self. Have you ever had one of those moments in your life where you knew exactly what to do, where to go, and, without a shadow of a doubt, you felt like you were being called in a particular direction. And if you made any other decision, it was just not the right way to go. Well, that was not the physical you guiding you as much as you might think it is. It's really your eternal consciousness, your higher self that's guiding you in those moments. The problem is that in our current state, in our physical reality, we are so bogged down by the mind, our identities associated with our ego, that we tend to operate from the noise of the world, from those identities, and therefore we lose our connection with that higher self. Even though it's trying to guide us all the time, we are so lost in the noise of the world that we are not listening to the information that it's giving us that could lead us down the right path. And so we ignore it and often feel clouded when really that clarity is always, always there within us. Picture it like this. You are walking down the street, looking at the narrow lanes ahead of you, and all you can really see is what's in front of you. That's what you operate like when you are disconnected from your higher self, just operating from the physical mind, your day-to-day information. That is what your view looks like. The view from your higher self's perspective is a satellite view where it has much more broader information, what's adjacent to where you are, what's happening in the entire neighborhood as you are walking down those streets. And therefore that intelligence is much, much grander and greater than your physical self. The problem is the noise of the world really disconnects us from that intelligence, and therefore we are not able to access it. And so you want to take a look at in your life, and especially, those that are chosen with a higher purpose, going through spiritual awakenings with a purpose, you have probably had a lot more experience with tapping into your higher self than other people, because, you have come here with a much deeper purpose that you need to fulfill. And so if you really look back on your life, you have been guided all along the way in terms of which direction to go in. And if you've listened to it and been in tune with it enough, you've made the right decisions that got you here thus far. Now, if you haven't had much experience with your higher self, just understand that your higher self is really the purest form of you. It is not separate from you. It's not something that's far away. It's really the essence of you, but you feel disconnected from it because you do not practice using it enough. And therefore you are usually operating from your mind, your ego, the conditions of the world, the information that you've been passed down through your generation that's in your DNA. And so you always operate from that. However, there have been moments of clarity, clear moments of clarity in your life that really shine through from that higher self guiding you. And without a shadow of a doubt that that's the direction you want to go in. So how do we access our higher self more? How can we tap into that more so that we are operating from a place of having that intelligence versus not? So the question is, if our higher self is always available to us, why don't we hear it more clearly, and how can we change it so that that signal is more clear and we can make more decisions from listening to what that signal has to tell us? You want to be able to come from a place of having all of that knowledge and that information if it's available to you versus just your limited view of what's in the 3D. Now, there are 3 key ways that you can actually strengthen your intuition and start getting that guidance more clearly and that clear signal from your higher self. And so for that, the first one really is meditation. Practicing stillness will allow you to calm down the chatter of your mind so that you can really hear what your higher self has to say about decisions that you're stuck at, especially when you're stuck at those moments between, you're at a crossroads and you really don't know which way to go. Your higher self can really help guide you if you will just practice that stillness. As long as you are bogged down with the chatter of the mind, it is really hard to get that signal, and therefore you will find it challenging to proceed forward. But the more you practice stillness, the easier this becomes. Now, a second way that you can really do this is by practicing breath work. Now, if you're someone that really struggles with sitting in meditation for longer periods of time, you can actually balance that practice with breath work. Even though meditation on its own is sufficient, if you practice, doing some breathing exercises and breath work, that will help to regulate your nervous system, help calm you down and bring you into stillness and really in the present moment. And if you really accompany that with being out in nature, that will help you as well. But that's another way that you can really, calm yourself down, calm the chatter of the mind, and then you'll be able to more clearly tap into that intuition and that higher self and that higher intelligence. Now, a third way to practice, strengthening that signal is really practice in itself. Now, the more and more you rely on your intuition, asking yourself and your higher self for answers, the better you become at knowing when more information and intel comes through, because understanding those signals sometimes can be difficult. If you don't have experience with what your higher self, guidance from your higher self looks like, you are going to doubt it when it comes through or not understand where it's really coming from, or simply just ignore it. So, practicing it when it happens once and continuing on that practice of meditation is going to help you strengthen it more and more. Now, why I say that you are going to need practice with this is because not everybody experiences intuition and that higher knowing in the same way. While some may experience this as what I personally call a direct download, that feels like it's not like somebody said something to me, but I know what came through. I know that information that really was dropped into my heart. And that is for me, and that is what I'm going to follow. Now, somebody else may read something and have a clear knowing about what they've just read without knowing why they feel that way, but it feels like a true gut inkling that they must follow that information. Now, because this appears differently for different people, you need more experience with it to understand it, to be able to trust it, and to keep going down that path. The more and more you practice it, the better you'll get at it, and the more you will trust in knowing that the information that you're getting is correct for you, and that is what you need to follow. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this was helpful. God bless.